Hi, everyone. I'm Pallavi, co-founder and CEO of Decisionly. Decisionly applies AI to automate the disputes process end-to-end for card issuers. My founding team and I previously founded ChargeHound, the first automated dispute solution for merchants. ChargeHound powered billions in disputes for Airbnb, Uber, DoorDash, and Shopify, and enabled merchants to scale their online payments to meet a digital era. ChargeHound was acquired by PayPal in 2021, where it continues to power their global disputes infrastructure. In the meantime, it was clear to us that issuers' dispute costs were rising without modern technology solutions in place to keep up. Dispute volumes are growing 40% year over year, gobbling up issuers' time and money. More and more of these disputes are the result of first-party fraud. Issuers' current dispute operations not only can't keep up with growing volume, but they aren't designed to handle new and changing consumer behavior. Without an adaptive and automated system in place, issuers incur massive costs in manual handle time, meaning they have to do forced high-volume write-offs, which in turn encourage more first-party fraud, increasing dispute volume, putting more pressure on the system, and so on. That's why we built Decisionly, to enable banks and fintechs to run more profitable, performant, and compliant card programs. Decisionly combines AI, deep domain expertise, and customizable controls to automatically action disputes at scale, free of human error. Issuers can use our intelligent intake to validate customer claims in real time. Then they can configure custom workflows to automate dispute investigation, filing, communication, and money movement. If a merchant responds with evidence, Decisionly will use AI to score the evidence and identify opportunities for maximum recovery. Let's run through a couple of these use cases. We can switch to the laptop. First, let's imagine a valued cardholder with a legitimate claim of merchant error. On the back end, Decisionly can see that this cardholder has no red flags with their history with the issuer. They're coming to us with a claim that they never received a refund they were promised. For this cardholder, Decisionly wants to deliver a modern, streamlined experience that ensures all the required evidence is collected upfront to ensure maximum recovery and eliminate back and forth later on. If they upload images, text, or email communication, Decisionly's AI will interpret this information. Here we can see they provided an unresolved support thread with the merchant. Decisionly has extracted key data points and will compare it to their initial claim. What Decisionly has figured out is that this cardholder is confused and is inaccurately categorizing their own claim, hurting chances for a good outcome and increasing downstream complexity for the issuer. Decisionly will interpret this, prompt them to correct their dispute, and ensure a higher likelihood for success, lower processing costs for the issuer, and a better experience for this cardholder. Now let's imagine another cardholder that's coming in with a fraud claim. Decisionly can see that the transaction details and signals on the back end don't match up. When this cardholder says that they didn't authorize the transaction, Decisionly can see that they have extensive purchase history with this merchant. We will surface this to the cardholder and start pushing them to more and more friction to disincentivize abusive fraud claims or dispute behavior and eventually deflect this claim. Next, let's see what happens when a case is actually created. Today, fragmented legacy tools mean that large human teams need to manually review all the information on a dispute and execute complex SOPs. Decisionly will configure issuers' own custom workflows and automate the investigation so that valid claims are filed, communication is sent out, and deadlines are hit. Here, we can see a valid claim that was filed as a chargeback with the network. Decisionly evaluated the dispute, filed it with the network, and generated a human-readable summary that makes it easy to review, no manual intervention required. Here, we can see a dispute that was flagged for manual review because of invalid information. Decisionly generates a report showing exactly what's missing or incorrect so that anyone reviewing this can quickly take appropriate action instead of sifting through a ton of transaction information. With tools like this, Decisionly has cut our current clients' manual workload by 80% while making agents twice as fast on remaining tasks. Finally, if a merchant submits evidence via a representment document, Decisionly will ingest this representment, parse it, score it, and generate a scorecard to let the issuer know if they should continue with this dispute or not. Today, these representments, often dozens of pages, are read by humans and compared to the initial claim. Because it's so costly to do so, issuers leave money on the table for their cardholders. With Decisionly, they can maximize recovery while keeping costs low. Decisionly is a perfect use case for how pragmatic AI adoption reduces cost and complexity. We eliminate write-off losses, speed resolution, and cut issuers' dispute costs by about 60%. With Decisionly, an issuer can launch a new product or enter a new market without worrying if their dispute systems will break. A modern dispute experience builds trust with valued customers and deflects abusive dispute behavior. With Decisionly, card product, operations, and servicing teams can focus on strategic priorities and not on repetitive manual tasks. If you are a card issuer here today and you're interested in how to deliver a modern disputes experience to customers while cutting cost and risk, we have a booth in the exhibit hall, and we'd love to meet you. Thank you.